we're going to classify both of these conics. What we do is you look at the x squareds and the y squareds. Since the x squared and the y squared are completely different, actually both of them, the x squared and y squared, are completely different, but when we said on our description, if they're different but they're both positive, or both the same sign basically, different but the same sign, we know they are ellipse. But if they're different but they're different signs, like one's positive, one's negative, we know it's a hyperbola. Kind of squeeze that hyperbola in there. So we classified it. Boom, done with that. Next part is we're going to change it to standard form, and here's where it gets tricky. So we're going to change it to standard form. So what we're going to do is we're going to group the x's, so x squared minus the 4x plus something, and then plus we have the 9y squared plus the 18y plus something will give us the negative 4's over here plus something, because we have to add something for both of those. Now, before we actually start this, there is a trick here. There's a problem. I can do completing the square with this pretty simply, but this one, this 9 is going to mess us up. So there's something we're going to have to do. Here's what it is. First one stays the same. I need to pull the GCF out. And what you notice is it's going to be y. It's going to be 9. When I pull a 9 out, that's going to leave me with 2. And we still have the negative 4 plus something plus something. So I had to pull out that 9. That makes it quite a bit more complicated, but now it makes it easier because it's out. So what's going to go here? Well, when you half this and square it, you're going to get 4, because half of negative 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So right here, you're going to plug in 4 for this one. But this one isn't a 1. This is 9 times 1. Tricky, huh? Isn't this really a 9 times a 1 you're adding to this side? 9 times 1. So you're really going to be adding a 9 there. And that, for a lot of people, is a little bit tricky. They don't notice that. They don't understand that. Anywho, from here, that factors to be x minus 2 times x minus 2, which is x minus 2 squared, plus leave the 9 out front. This becomes y plus 1 squared. When you add all this up, you get 9. Okay. Now we said it's an ellipse, so we have to equal it to 1, so we're going to divide everything by 9. And when we do that, our equation looks like it's going to be x minus 2 squared over 9 plus y plus 1 squared. And I don't need to put it, but I'll put over 1. It just helps out over 1. That's our standard form. So let's graph this. If I was to graph, this is our standard form, which what it was asking for. We know it's an ellipse. Our HK, or our center, is one of the things they're asking for. Our HK is, looks like the opposite of negative 2 is going to be a positive 2, comma, the opposite of 1 looks like a negative 1. So that's our HK. So 2, negative 1. That's the center of our ellipse. And from there, if we want to graph this, the x value, the a, well 9, the square root of 9 is 3, and it's under the x. So what that means is you're going to move over 3 on the x. So in both directions you move 3 over on the x, because the x value is 9. So basically a is 3, and b, well the square root of 1 is 1. So what that means is you can go up 1 and down 1. For the y value, you go up 1, down 1. And then you basically have your ellipse. It's kind of small. Kind of didn't, it's kind of small basically. There's your ellipse. And also asks you for your foci. So to find foci, you know c squared equals a squared is minus b squared. So c squared is equal to 9 is a squared minus 1. So it looks like c squared is equal to 8, and we square root that. Looks like we get c equals to plus or minus the square root of 8. So my foci would be plus or minus square root of 8 this way and plus or minus square root of 8 this way, which that's approximately just a teeny bit less than 3. It's like 2.9, positive or negative 2.9, which the focal points are going to be like very, very close, like right up against it. They're right up against there. And if I wanted those as coordinates, well, they're going left or right, so my coordinate is 2. So if it's at 2, that would be basically 2 plus this. It would be about 4.9 comma negative 1. And the other one would be minus it, would be negative 0.9 comma negative 1. Those are my foci. Again, because this is your HK, it went 2.9 this way and about 2.9 this way. And if you add or subtract that, that's what you